Hello friends, welcome to my Indian homemade series. I am Ajay Bhute from Varda, Maharashtra, India, and this is my homemade compound crossbow. I made this from wood and scrap steel. It cost me around 3000 Indian rupees or near about $50. I tried my best to minimize the weight and maximize the power of this crossbow. Its weight is 8 kg or near about 17 pounds. As I not have the lightweight material like aluminium or carbon for making this crossbow, I use scrap steel, wood and easily available things in the market for making this crossbow. So it was not possible for me to reduce its weight much lower than this. Its draw length is 21 inches, which is much more than company-made compound crossbows. I checked the net and found that many company-made powerful crossbow like Barnett, Carbon, Crossman and PSE has a draw length around 15 to 16 inches. So my crossbow has 5 inches more draw length than these company-made crossbows. I checked the draw weight of my crossbow at full draw and it is 120 pounds. And if the arrow speed is depend on draw length, draw weight and arrow weight, then what will be the speed of the arrow of this compound crossbow? When company made crossbow has arrow speed of around 375 feet per second. Now first I am going to disassemble this crossbow and show you every separate part of it and will tell you how I have made that. This is my homemade compound crossbow limbs. I made this from a scrap car spring leaf. I had purchased this spring leaf from a scrap shop at 150 rupees or near about $2.5. I hammered the spring leaf and gave it such half-round shape. Then I cut it and gave it narrow shape towards the ends. Then I drilled holes at the end for fitting cams or pulley mechanism on it. Then I grind it and buff it with my hand grinder to make it smooth and shiny. After that, I painted it with copper varnish to keep it shiny and rust free for longer time. This limbs is very stiff and strong. For checking its stiffness, I press the both end of it towards each other with my full weight and force. But I can only able to bend it for an inch only. But in my crossbow, my pulley or cam mechanism makes it bend up to 4 to 5 inch towards each other. So you can easily imagine how much energy it can be able to store in it. This is my homemade compound crossbow stock, or you can say it barrel or tiller too. It is not made from a single piece of wood, but I made it from such wooden strips and square steel pipe like this. I am not a professional woodworker or fabricator, so not have the proper tools for making such wooden jobs. I have only my hand cutter cum grinder, some files, hammers, a jack and some common tools. So constructing this stock was the tough job in my crossbow making. The stock must be lightweight but strong enough to bear the big pressure and stress on it. Also, it must be able to hold the limbs and foot stirrup firmly. It also must have a straight deep groove to contain one arrow flash in it. In pure wooden stock, it is difficult to construct a strong stock with such deep groove in between and across the length, and this cut off in between the stock for the pressure cables. So I welded such two 1.5 inches and 15 inches long square pipe of steel to this limb socket and foot stirrup assembly, which is now inside this wooden stock. Then I fitted this type of wooden strips on it by nut bolts and screws, which is inside this wooden stock. After that, I glued and pinned another 2 layers of wooden strips on it as I required to give this stock such type of shape. I also remain enough empty space for my trigger mechanism in it here and a handle to pull the trigger and hold the stock firmly. Finally, I grind the excess wood by my hand grinder and gave it this shape as I desired. So this stock becomes very strong and firm even with the deep groove in between it across its length, and also this cut off in between the stock for the pressure cables. Then I smoothened it with sandpaper and painted 3 layers of wooden polish on it. Finally, for shining, I painted 1 layer of copper varnish on it. So this is my final wooden metal stock for my homemade crossbow. This is my homemade cam or pulley mechanism for my homemade crossbow. The main parts of this mechanism are these pulleys. As it is a lathe machine job and I not have lathe machine at my home, I made this from professional lathe worker as my required diameter, thickness and depth. Then I drilled this small hole in between this cable groove on both pulleys to hold the cables. Then I welded these pulleys on a carbon steel shaft with a bush on it with specific position and angle as I required. Then I welded these nut bolts on both pulleys with a small hole in it to lock the cables tightly. I also welded a cable holder on it for holding the opposite pulley cables. I also welded the link holding nut bolts on the center bush. Then I grind it and buff it for making it smooth and shiny. Finally, after washing it with this diesel for removing the metal dust, I oiled the center shaft to rotate it freely in the limb bush. Then I painted it with copper varnish to keep it rust free and shiny for longer period. You can see this big pulley is attached with this small pulley with this center shaft, but this big pulley is attached to this small pulley in such a way that the center of this small pulley is not at the center of this big pulley but slightly one-sided. This pulley arrangement is for the instant power stroke of the bowstring. The pulley groove is around 1 centimeter depth, so has no possibility of jumping cables out from it. I made this pulley mechanism with only hard steel, so it is very capable of bearing 3 to 500 pounds of stress and jerk. This is my arrow retention spring holder, and this is my arrow retention spring. I made this from a steel measuring scale. This is trigger guard. This is trigger, and this is the bow string hook. These are the trigger mechanism springs, screws and nut bolts. I use these two-wheeler clutch wires as my bowstring and pressure cable, which is easily available at the two-wheeler shopping. Now it's time to assemble all the spare parts of my homemade compound crossbow together. This is my toolkit I used for making my homemade crossbow. Jack, hand grinder, cum cutter, hammers, files, hand gloves, screwdrivers, brush, copper varnish, wooden polish, Fevicol, measuring scale, center punch, you can see how nicely its trigger mechanism is working. I am pulling the string hook in this direction by my finger and then Press the trigger. See what happens. It smoothly releases the string hook and the hook instantly comes back again in its original position. See. Now see the crossbow at full draw and the string power stroke. Again. Again. Now carefully see what the pulley mechanism is doing when I pull the string back in slow motion. The calculations shows that the arrow speed of this crossbow will be around 375 to 400 feet per second for the 350 grains arrow. Is that true? I can't believe that, as I not shoot any real arrow with this crossbow yet. I just shoot wooden sticks with it in my 80 feet long hotel's banquet hall, and the sticks breaks in pieces after striking the wall, because I not get any company made arrows in the market nearby me. And when I inquire about the arrow prices, if I order them, then I was shocked. It will be around 150 to 200 rupees each, or $3 to $4 each. So costly. So finally, I decided to make my own homemade lightweight perfect arrow for my crossbow. I am now working on that. I have many fantastic ideas about making long range perfect homemade arrows below rupees 25 or $50 each. My friends, I will show you in my next episode how to make perfect cheap arrows at home, and also then I will shoot that arrow with my crossbow, and we will see the arrow speed, its accuracy and its impact on the target. I am an hotelier by profession, but it is my childhood hobbies to make such things and understand the science about it. I get fun doing that. I had made many such things in the past, but not get much time to look after at my hobbies because of my profession. But now my business gets set and I have some time to do such crazy things. And now I decided to share many such things with my friends and the world in my Indian homemade series with the help of YouTube. Thanks for watching. We will meet soon on my second episode. Till then, take care. Have a nice day. I love India. Bharat Mata Ki Jai. Feel free to call me or write me on my email address. Thanks.